Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to show you the next 4 stages of the IXO Collections release of Build the Lancia 037. So as you can see, here is what I created of the Lancia, and I actually built the next 2 packs on the Patreon channel, and today I'm going to show you one of those packs. Now, if you haven't seen my Patreon channel, I have put a link down here, and basically we do things on Wednesday nights where I'm building things from Gundam models. In this instance, I was building the Lancia. It's basically one of these off-the-cuff things that I build every Wednesday, and it gives me a chance to talk to the community over on the Patreon channel. So if that's something that interests you, then obviously follow that link to the Patreon channel. You can join that. Now, the video you're about to watch is very heavily edited. I'm normally chatting to the Patreons while I'm doing this build. You won't hear any of that today, just through some clever editing. I also need to apologize for any noise that you can hear in the background at the moment. That's because my new 3D printer is printing something which you're going to see in the next couple of weeks. That's really exciting. But back to the Lancia. If you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link down here to the IXO Collections website. You'll be able to get this all the way from pack 1. But without further ado, let's get cracking. This is the workstation here. This is what we're going to be working on, which is the frame. Now, this has gone together, each individual part. So it's not like it came this way. We had to put this all together. Now, the instructions, as I said, don't really tell you what bits we're working from, which is a bit of a pain. Now, what I do know is if I turn this over like that, the first part that we're going to be needing is going into this section just here. Because what we're doing is we're actually building onto this side of, if this is the firewall, we're building onto this side here. They don't make that clear. So when this is over, we need this part here. And the first thing I'm going to be putting in, I'd love to tell you what these parts are, but I can't because they're all in French. But the first part I'm going to be putting in is this part here. Now, this is metal, so it is going to be bracing something, but it's going to go on top just like that there. So when I do the other side of this, I'm going to have one going on the other side over there. Now, this is held in with an SM screw, which when I let go, it's going to fall off. Now, this part is labelled as stamped with an L. So this is the left side of the car that I'm working on at the moment. And all of this is going to hold the suspension in place. So I'll get that nice and tight. So that's that first bracket in place. So that bit was easy. Now it's going to get a little bit hard because when I turn it over like this, we're going to be putting the piston for the shock absorber in place. And again, it's not really helping which way round it goes. I'm thinking it goes in here. That's where I think the pictures are telling me where it goes, on there like that. And I think it's screwed in. I don't think it, does it matter? I don't think it matters. I'm going to screw it in from the back side because you wouldn't see the screw here. That's going to be screwed in with a GM screw. These are quite long screws. I've already opened these packets up. So hopefully, where's my screwdriver? Let's get some oil on this. This is where I have problems, and I have to wear my magnifying glasses here because honestly I can't see a thing now. My eyesight's getting terrible. Okay, right, it goes on. This has got a lip on it, you see, so the end of the screw is going to go where that lip is. So if I have this on this way, then this is definitely going to be screwing in from this side. So get that all the way in. If the screwdriver skips like that one was there, this is where I use my PH1 screwdriver. It gives me extra torque, but it drives it in so much easier. So I've got that suspension strut into place. Okay, now this is where it gets a bit weird. We're going to be taking this bar here. Now, one side of this is going to be going onto that bracket that we put in first there. I don't know which way round it goes. I'm going to put it in that way. The other one is going onto this bottom arm. So it goes on the hole just below this large hole here, as you can see. Okay, right. It's held in from the underside with an IM screw. So let's get this one in here first, seeing as that's the hardest one. Right, let's get an IM screw in here. There you go, that's gone in. Just checking if it's going to let me Put that all the way through. Should do. Ah, it has. It's tightened as well. So I've got that one right. The one that's going on this side here, this, for it to fit flat like that, is going to dictate where this wishbone here is going. So the one in here is going to have a UM screw. Got that here. I want it to sit flat, so I'm just going to line it up and then get that screw in. Perfect. I don't know if you can see that. Get that all the way in. Now that took about 20 minutes of learning where that actually goes to get that in, because I can put that to one side now. Excellent. What we're going to do now is bring the hub carrier, which is this, and the caliper, which is this. These are all metal as well, which is good. They're going to go in just like that there. Let me just make sure they're around the right way. That's right. Held in place just with one screw at the top there with an SM screw. So if that goes around that way, this leads us these two parts here, this top part and this bottom part. The top part is going to go in here like that. And then that part's going to go in there. And I do believe that this part here will eventually be going into that hole just there. That seems about right to me. So let's get these in. So first off, DM screw at the top there, which is a flange screw. Okay, I'm being very quiet. I don't want to cross thread the screw, you see. That looks good. I'm not screwing that in all the way because I've got to put a bottom screw in. Hang on a second. The bottom screws are DM. All of the screws on this are DM screws. Right, okay, that makes things a tiny bit easier. Turn it over and put a DM screw in this side here. As you can see there, which is basically on the what's this? This is the drive shaft, is it? That's attached to the steering rack. It's going in there. Again, I'm not putting it in all the way, just enough to make sure it's going in. There we go, perfect. And then one more screw, which again is a DM screw, I believe, which is in. Now this DM screw I'm going to make nice and tight. Perfect. So it's one done now. I need this one here tight now. Perfect. And then finally turn it back over and put the top one in tight. That was easier than I thought it would be. So now when that moves, obviously the other side, hang on, let's change the camera. When this moves now, you can see it's affecting this side as well when I turn it. Perfect. Okay, the next part is the spring. I've got the spring here, which is going to go, as you can see, you've got the piston in there. That's going to go over the top here. Let's just put that in. Oops, there you go. The spring's in. And then we're going to be taking the other side of the shock, which is going to go through the spring, and this is easy enough, and it's going to connect into this channel just here. So I'm aware there's lots of dark colors on here, so it's probably hard to see, but when I've threaded this in like that, this is just going to go in there like that. That looks good, doesn't it? It's going to be connected from the front, a screw from the front, which is a GM screw. Got one here. Let's get that in. Bit of oil. And again, holding my breath that it bites first time. Going to use my bigger screwdriver again. Whoops, that was almost an accident. Medic! That's how that's going to look. Now we're going to be putting the wheels on now. So I'm going to put this brake disc on, which goes on here and then in between the wheel. It has to go on that way because we're about to put the wheel on. Let's just see how the wheel looks on this. There is a notch in the wheel, which is going to go into the notch there. So that confirms I've definitely got this in the right way. Let's get it in and keep rotating it round until I'm happy it's in that brake disc. Ah, got it. I've 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 got it. There you go. I've got it. Yes. Okay. So the tyre's on. I've got to screw this in and I'm screwing it in with a VM screw. It's a VM screw, which is already a flange screw, but they want me to put a washer on it as well. That doesn't make sense to me, because that just means that the thread on this is tiny. Look. Well, let's see if it works. I'm going to just drop that in a bit of oil. I'm going to drop the washer in there. It is flat in there. Get this flange screw in. So let's tighten this up as tight as we can get it, because we don't want any wheel wobble, which I haven't got there. That's the wheel in place. That is excellent. So just looking at this, checking I've used all the screws I have. I'm just going to keep this part to one side because it keeps falling out. That's the end of that stage. And we're going to repeat what we just done on the other side. So this is going to be fun. Hopefully I can remember what I did. We should be a dab hand at this now. We're going to be doing exactly the same as what we did on that side, but on the other side. So, once again, go to this close-up camera. I've got this part here, which is going to mirror what we got there. That's going to go in there like that. And that's held in with an SM screw. Then we're going to be putting that shock absorber piston onto this part, which now I've got the wheel in, might be easier to show you. So this is going to go in this way. I wanted this way actually, with the raised section up, so that the screw for this can go through this end here. That's a GM screw. So that's the piston arm in for the suspension. What's next? Oh, we've got to put this long bar in now. This gets so confusing, right? Okay. So this time we know where this goes. The fork section of this goes over here, and the other section is going on what we just put in before. So I'm just going to see which way it fits best. I think that way looks pretty good, so I'm going to put it in that way. Screw there through the bottom first, which is a UM screw, which is a flange screw here at the top. Haven't put it in all the way. And then an IM screw, let's get one of them open, at the bottom, which is going to go through the bottom and hold that in. Okay, there we go, getting it into the other side, which it is now. So that's on. Cool. Keep that to one side. Make the caliper. So again, we want it like this, and I'm putting this over the top there. And this is going to be held in with one of the tiny SM screws. So it shouldn't be able to come out of the lug there. So that's in. Now we're going to be putting this on the car. So making sure it's round the right way. It's going to be on this way with the caliper. I am putting this on the right way, aren't I? Yes, I am. Right, okay. So the bottom one, can you see this? The bottom one's going on here. Let me just put that in there. Get this right. Bottom one in here, top one on top, and this one here is going, just looking at the other one there, is going to go in there like that. Perfect. All held in with DM screws. So there we go. So I turn the wheel. You can see that side there is now moving. Okay, we're going to put the spring over the top of that piston. And then we've got the other side of the shock going in here. That's going into here. And that's held in with a GM screw. That is all there is to do in that stage. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be piecing these together. There is two tabs to actually lock this into place, which I think I've got now, but we do need to screw this in, I believe, with KP screws. These are tiny screws. Let's get them out. My PHO should be able to do that. Am I putting them in the right side? No, I'm not. You need to go in from this way, like this. So let's have a look at this. So if we're going to be doing the tyre, they want on this side of the tyre will be this side here. So that is going to fit in no problem. So I don't need any oil, any water for that. So this side is going to go into this side here. Now these are held in with AM screws. It's going in. Right, okay. So get these as tight as I can get them. Oh, this really puts strain on your hand, I'm telling you. There's no way an electric screwdriver will do this. It will either round the heads or it just won't have the torque to turn it. So you have to use your hands. That's free. One more. Almost there. Oh, I can't feel my hand. That one's poor. There you go. Oh, oh, God, that was hard work. But there you go. That's it. Let's move this lukewarm water to one side. And then we're going to be putting this. We're dab hand at this now. Hang on a second. Clear the water off there. So this is going to be going in. If I should be able to hold it that way, actually. That's going to go in here like this. Then I need to get this wheel over the top. And then I've got to kind of hold the brake disc while I spin the wheel. And then that way I can feel it slip in to that notch. Which at the moment doesn't want to do. Ah, I'm in the notch. I'm in the notch right there. Okay. Whoa. That's good. Right, get the washer. Put the washer in. And then I need... What screw is it? I can't remember. It was a VM screw. Let's get this down the top. I just felt it bite then, so that's good. And then use my big screwdriver to get that nice and tight. That looks good. Let me just double check that, yep, it's definitely attached to the brake disc. And as you can see, they now turn perfectly, just like that. This is stage 16, everybody. Look, we got stage 16. Let's get all the parts out for this. And the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to be putting the radiator over this plate here. So this is just going to go on like that to make a completed little radiator there. That's going to be held in with SP screws. Got them here. It's number 3. And finally number 4. So this is the start of the radiator here. Just turning the page. We're actually going to be mounting this to the car. So I don't know what all these other bits are for here at the moment. It's a very strange fit this is. So if I can get one in, which believe me isn't easy. I've got one in but just gently. And put the other one in by rotating this round. Getting a screw in that side there. Perfect. And then tightening these up. Oh, that went in better than I thought. So there we go. That's in like that. This is 16D. They're asking me to put this on the car. But they've got it upside down. Let me turn it upside down. So it's going to have to go in kind of like this. And this is going to plug... Right, okay. This goes all the way through in the inside here. So one side goes into the side of the radiator. Which I think I'm going to do that last. I think the hardest one to get in is going to be the one just there. So I'm just pushing into the hole. I don't want to break this wire. And then this side here goes in here. I think I'm going to put it in. There you go. And show you how this looks. Right. Can you see that? So it goes into the side of the firewall there. Then it's going underneath everything here. Branches off in this direction. Into the side of the radiator. Just there. The picture's really not clear on that. So, and now I've got to put 16C in, which again, I'm just having a look what that is. That is this thing here. So it's going in like that. Because we've got a screw hole here, and we've got a screw hole down here. So let's get this SM screw open. So that's sort of like the fascia for that. It makes sort of like a little air duct for it, if you like. See that? Perfect. And I think, stand by, just going to turn the page. No, there's one more thing to put in, and that is on the other side of this radiator here. As you can see there, there's a large hole for this pipe to go in, like that. And then this is going to feed under, oh God, hang on a second. Figuring this out. So they've got it upside down. It's going to feed around. It's going to go under everything. It's going to go right next to the shock. So it's going to go in here and out the side here. But this side is going round into the side of the... God, I think this hot water is going to be needed again to get this to bend round. Into there. Oh, there we go. No, I don't think I need to glue them. Can you see that? And that is how that goes. Show you on this camera. And there you go. Once that pipe was in, it looks pretty good. And I mean, we're only like, you know, 15, 16 stages into this. And we've already got a quarter of a car. So it's really going together quite a fiddly build, this one. But it has got a lot of detail. So once again, if you do want to get this for yourself, I have put a link down here to the IXO Collections website. You can get that all the way from pack 1. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.